The Nigerian mortgage sector needs the political will of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Redan. Lagos government reduces rates for building planning permit by 40%. World Cities Day, federal government set to invest in affordable housing to address urbanization challenges. Nigeria, 17 others considered safe, stable for multinationals investment. Welcome to Trending Housing News. I am Niman Abuja. Now the news in full. The Housing Development Advocacy Network, Redan, a pioneer non-governmental civil society organization in Nigeria, has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to use his political will to develop the Nigerian mortgage sector. In a statement released on Sunday in Abuja, signed by the Executive Director, Redan, Festus Adebayo, the civil society organization called on President Tinubu not to forget his promise of creating a credit system for Nigerians. Adebayo stated that the government should also consider the idea of putting sinking funds in the mortgage system that will enable the mortgage banks to have enough money to lend to the people. The Lagos state government has decided to downward review some rates for physical planning processes across the state, after outcry from relevant stakeholders, particularly professionals under the aegis of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. Industry experts have feared that over 100% increase amid sluggish economic situation, exchange rate volatility, and inflation rising prices of building materials will cause the real estate sector to further nosedive in its contribution to the gross domestic product, as well as reduce activities in the construction industry. In a recent memo addressed to all heads of departments and units under the State's Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development by the Permanent Secretary, Oluwole Sotiri, says the ministry has obtained the approval of the governor for the review of some rates utilized for physical planning process, especially the fees presently being issued by the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority, as contained in Schedule 11 and 13 of the State's Physical Planning Permit Regulation 2019 as amended. Speaking on the development, President Association of Town Planning Consultants of Nigeria, BC Adejire, said the reduction in statutory payments will encourage many people to develop their buildings rather than embarking on illegal development. The rest of the stories after the break.
Home ownership is still an aspiration among a majority of Nigerians. Millions of Nigerians struggle for affordable housing amidst the real estate boom.
Have a place to lay your head that is convenient. It will make you to work well.
We've not done much in terms of housing, so a lot more needs to be done.
Anywhere in the world, social housing is driven by the government. Otherwise, there is no way low income can own their own structure.
Housing is critical to economic development. The executive, the legislature must give housing a priority.
Under the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, we are determined to change this embarrassing narrative.
This is housing development.
Welcome back. Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark this year's World Cities Day, which is usually a climax of the urban October 31st days of promoting better urban future globally, which began with the World Habitat Day earlier in October, with the theme Financing Sustainable Urban Future for All and Resilient Urban Economies, Cities and Drivers of Growth and Recovery. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, represented by the Minister of State of Housing and Urban Development, Abdullahi Tijani Gwarezo, rested the desire of the present administration's zeal under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to create better cities as agents of economic growth. The occasion was a veritable opportunity to look at the present state of cities in Nigeria from a global perspective in a bid to see how well the country has fared in creating cities and affordable houses for its inhabitants over the years. Nigeria and 17 other African countries were ranked as safe and stable investment destinations for multinationals in terms of political risk for business. This was contained in a recent report published by SPM Intelligence titled Africa Countries Instability Risk Index. The countries that were ranked safe were Botswana, Mauritius, South Africa, Seychelles, Cape Verde, Lesotho, Namibia, and Tanzania. The report also considered the following countries: Ghana, Zambia, Liberia, Malawi, Kenya, Senegal, Republic of Benin, Gambia, Nigeria, and the Sao Tome and Principe as stable for investment. Nigeria was deemed a stable multi-party democracy in the report with an overview score of 39%. Its key risk items include naira depreciation, multidimensional poverty, security challenges, and political uncertainty. That's all for the news. You can subscribe to this channel, Housing TV Africa, to get more information on happenings in the housing sector. Also, don't forget to tune into AIT 9 a.m. every Wednesdays, on TVC 10:30 a.m. every Saturday. Housing TV Africa is on channel 149 on Star Times. You can also follow us on all of our social media platforms. My name is Memona Bagudu. Thank you for watching.
It's good news. Are you a stakeholder in the built environment, or you are looking for an authentic, credible source for housing and construction news in Africa? You now have an opportunity. Africa International Housing Show has now created a unique opportunity for you by establishing a full-fledged housing television, the first of its kind in Africa. You can now access information on home ownership, rental, building materials, finance, real estate, and insurance, among others, all on Housing TV Africa, channel 149 on Star Times.